Hello there, guys and gals. Yep, you're seeing it. sn95 still on the rack. But that's not our project. Our project tonight is to cut down the budget on this car. How? That's right, with this old burger. With the 94 GT. We are taking the meat and taters of her. Motor, trans, the wiring harness, the computer, differential. We're even going to take the front spindles. Why? Well, because they're here. No, we're going to use them. And if you didn't know, these sn95, as they call them, those front spindles are commonly used on a Fox body to swap them over to 5-lug. It's a cheap, cost-effective way. Keep that under your hat. Anyway, so we're going to pull the motor, the trans, the interior, the bumper cover, pretty much everything that makes this car a car. But I think I have the interior sold already. A friend of mine, Chris, he said he wants it. So we're going to work out some deals. He's got some 66 parts that I want. Hopefully. I haven't seen them yet. But he has 66 parts that I don't have. Yeah. So that's another way to keep your budget car down. Find somebody's got stuff you want, and you got stuff they need. Work out a trade. You know, make it where it works out good for both of you. So anyway, we're going to get started. We're going to start in the interior because that's where, I mean, obviously I've already cut the doors. I just cut the harness. We're not using that, and we don't care. So it is what it is on all that. But just think about this too. All these nuts and bolts that you're removing, remember them coffee cans? You know, because these cars usually come with more bolts than what they need. Why don't you go ahead and throw them in there? They're free. And they might have a weird thread. Just saying, might come in handy. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and strip out this interior, and I'll let you know. I don't think this is gonna be too bad to do, but we're gonna raise it up tonight. Tonight might be an easy, short little episode. We'll see, all right? Wish me luck. I don't think we're pulling the engine tonight. We'll just get ready to. We'll pull it this week, because that sounds like a plan, right? We're probably going to cut the rear end out of it because we like to party. And that'll be quicker. Yep. Like button hit. All right. Here we go. We're going for it. We'll see you here in a few. Well, we have the interior knocked out. And what I mean by knocked out, I mean it's all like back in the car, strategically placed, you know, except for the seats, the front seats. We kept them out, took pictures, sent them to the fella, and then we just, you know, either way, this car's not going to be here like in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever. You know, it's not going to be here very long. I think we are going to drop this motor from the bottom, just like you would an F body, because it looks like we can do it with those really rusty, crusty bolts right there, if we can reach them, like, or you know, just cut them off. Yeah, that's what we're thinking. But we're thinking that if we take those off, plus these two on this side and the other two on the other side, drop the sway bar, it all ought to drop together, I think. I don't speak Mustangese or none of this stuff. Now, there are some few things that really was interesting about what I've found so far. Of course, one you've already seen, the MSD stuff. I mean, that's typical. You know, I mean, it's a 215 horsepower race car. But the thing that was really interesting to me, you know how we always like to dig in the trunks? We're doing the old vice grip trick, and we dig in the trunk. We found like 4 sets of brake pads or something, brand new. I mean, it's just, there's mystery afoot. I don't know what's going on with that. So I don't know. That's really strange to me that we found so many. Another thing that we found is a brand new air conditioning pump. Whew, excuse me. Dust, just great. So, the brand new, well, it's remanufactured, same deal. I mean, whatevs. But it's new. The box was in the back, and it did contain an old compressor. Supposedly, I mean, you know, motor's been rebuilt, lost the receipt. You know how that goes. But it's not, you know. Excuse me, guys, this stuff's tearing me up. But, I mean, there's gaskets replaced that the motor's clean, dry. You know what I mean? So, half of me wants to believe it. We'll be able to tell once we drop it all the way out. I mean, the motor is actually, it's clean. It's not painted like showroom or anything. That's what's kind of, and the valve covers are blue, like factory-ish. But the rest of the motor is just, it's clean. It's not, it's confusing. It's confusing. That's all I gotta say. Now, this thing, we should be able to get in and out of here. Bada boom, bada bang, to bang. We are not going to worry too much about this thing at all. We are going to just rip it apart and send it. I mean, 'tis the season to get rid of junk at Right Turn Garage. We're not playing. So, man, that dust is really just tearing me up. Anyway, I gotta find out where the computer it is. It's probably on the passenger side, I'm guessing. Remove all the wiring, but first what we're going to do, since we are planning to drop it from the front, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and just this is why I'm not using this. I hope you guys, yep, you see all that? That's just, there's a lot of weight reduction in parts that it probably, oh yeah, yep, right under there too. It probably shouldn't have that there. That's structural. That's, I mean, it could be fixed, but not by me. I'm not. So we're going to go ahead and just spray those up with some penetrating oil. Maybe we'll just pour rust eater on it and the car will magically have the thing on the ground in the morning. I don't know. But nonetheless, if we don't feel like fooling with these bolts, we might just take the Sawzall, you go whoosh, whoosh, on both sides and just, you know, if she falls, she falls. But we're dropping the rear end first, and you know, we're cutting a whole bunch of stuff back here. I doubt we unbolt too much of anything. We're not reusing these rear springs. We're not using like 97% of any of this. Sway bars, we're gonna let the car just do what it do down the road. And then we're gonna, wow. Wow, yep. Uh-huh. I don't know how much this is showing, but it looks like I have professionally put this exhaust system together. Like, there's one section. There's another one right there. Yep, totally different piece. There's another piece there. There's another piece there. Then it connects on up. That kind of reminds me of a junkyard kind of rebuild, if you will. Like, anyway. So we're going to cut the exhaust right back here where it's been professionally welded by somebody like me. We're going to cut it there, disconnect it there, and disconnect it up front. We're going to try to keep it as much as one piece as we can. Then we're going to take the dry shaft out. Then we're going to drop all of this rear end. And it's going to go really easy because, yeah, it probably won't. But we're going to hope that it does. There are so many mud daubers on this thing. Jeez Louise, look at that. Like a whole colony. Like Section 8 housing or something on there. Look at that. Anyway, something shiny happened. So we're gonna, you know, right there is why we're, look at that. Just look at it. We got disc brakes in the rear. But we're gonna put that on the 66. We're gonna put disc up front on the 66. We got all kind of good stuff planned for her. But anyway, guys, I can't do it by sitting here and yakking. I know. More worky, less talky. I'm gonna go ahead and do it to myself now. So, anyway, I forgot about the shock in the trunk. So that means we're gonna cut it off at the bottom and just leave it. Sounds like a good idea. Anyway, I got some cutting to do, so wish me luck, and we'll see how all this goes. Well, we're back, and I have just too much stuff in here. We're getting ready to do the final thing to, yep, we've been busy. I mean, there's just crap everywhere. We just hit the old gut it button. But we're gonna take the motor out from the bottom. And the reason why we're gonna do that is because. And that's really why. Because I think it'll be easier, I think. I've detached all the wiring harness that goes underneath the motor and wraps around and does all this. All that stuff is disconnected. Now, here's the part you need to do also. If you're doing it like that, make sure you disconnect this harness as well. That's your main computer harness. That's where all these, you know, electrotronics, as Derek likes to say, comes into play. I'm doing it this way for a number of reasons. Oh shoot, I forgot to cut off that fuel line. Don't use a cutoff wheel for the fuel line or fuel line return. It might not be gooder. But your brake lines, make sure you disconnect them or cut them. I cut them just because it's faster. Sway bar, you can cut it, or you can just cut the thing right there like I did. Motor mounts I'm not going to have to worry about until it's out. That's another reason why I'm doing this. So I'm going to drop the motor and tranny at the same time. Now, I already removed the rear end. Thank God I have 2 floor jacks, because we're going to let her down on like one of them wood dolly type things, if I have one somewhere, because I don't want gouges in my floor whenever I raise this puppy up. We're going to have it on some sort of roller. That's, I know I have them around here somewhere. I think they're, I don't know, they're around here somewhere. Ah, there's me a roller. So I was going to use the wooden one, but apparently I've got this one readily available, so this guy will have to do. But we want it to where we can still slide it around. We still have to get the computer from inside the car, which is on the passenger side right there. And we're going to get a few more goodies, because this video here is actually, the whole purpose and content of this whole video is to show you how to make your project car cost you less. Okay, so I bought this whole car, 500 bones, $500, that's it. Running, driving. Now it's not, but I mean it will be again, you know what I mean, hopefully. I don't know, I don't speak Fordinese very well, but I'm leaving all that stuff, you know, that was plugged in, and the wiring, all that, it's staying right there where it's at, so I don't have to remember that part. I got enough stuff to try to learn on Ford, you know what I mean? And plus, like, modernizing this with that and making them, you know, talk, which it's actually going to be, that should be pretty straightforward. I mean, because I'm using the factory harness, factory computer, it's a factory type-ish motor. Word is it's rebuilt, lost the receipt, but you know how that goes. But anyway, so I'm going to disconnect the transmission mount that's way under there, real dirty, so I don't want to even show you that. It's nice. And then we have this. I don't know if I should actually take my Sawzall and cut right there. I don't know. I guess I'm going to try these bolts first. I'm going to soak them again before I try to cut them or anything, because those are pretty hard bolts. And we're going to try to unbolt it. If it don't come undone, then we're cutting it with a Sawzall. As you can see, she's paper thin. I mean, there's just, you can't see because the light ain't there, you dodo bird. Okay, now, as you can see now, she is paper thin. I mean, I broke loose the rubber brake line is what I'm trying to tell you. The bolt is right here. That's how thin all of that metal is, and You definitely shouldn't be able to see through there. So if you have, or if you're looking at buying one of these, check your shock towers. They're probably not good, or if they have any kind of mileage. And also check your front frame right by them, or right under them, because this one is shot. So we're gonna really hope, I'm gonna hope that those bolts actually come loose. And the very last bolts I'm going to take loose are actually these. These are for the strut, and that should keep all of this up still, in the theories of things. So I put rollers underneath already, that way so whenever this sucker comes out, we can roll it around somewhat. You know what I mean? And put it somewhere amongst the piles of Mustangs that I have in here. This is getting a little much, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, so I'm gonna get busy. Hopefully I can get this done real quick. And yeah, because time is definitely ticking. Wish me luck. We got some work to do. I'm out of breath and saved by the bell. Hear my phone going off? That means I have to get the heck out of here. But look at what we got. We got it out of there. Thank God. The level of sketch on this is, on a scale of 1 to 10, is a 27. I don't know if those wheels are touching now. Okay, so I had to raise the back of the car with those jacks to get this to touch the floor again. And then instead of just wrapping like, you know, something around this whole piece, I just hooked it. And we put her to Senville. Why? That alarm right there. So what I'm gonna do now is set it back down on jack stands, hopefully. And we gotta get out of here. But anyway, guys and gals, we had a fun trip, and that's how bad it was rotten. El frame, el gondo, both sides. So I'm glad this car is not on the road next to my loved ones, and not next to yours either, because this was bad. Alarm, I got you, bro. Yeah, I'm busy. But this on a level of sketch. Don't get under them when they're like this, for Pete's sake. I would not crawl underneath this sucker if there was like a $50 bill, maybe 100, but not a 50. Gosh, I can't even get around anymore. It's so annoying. Can't wait to get this stuff out of my shop. But anyway, so dang it, I'm glad that it didn't flip up. I did have it on 2 wheels at one time, and if you see your hoist on 2 wheels, like go the opposite direction. Don't do what I did. There's a reason why I didn't show it, because that was on a whole new level of sketch that I wasn't expecting to go. But we went there. We're not proud of it, but we went there and we lost our transmission fluid, and that's okay. But anyway, guys and gals, we're going to keep on ripping this sucker apart. We're going to peel the steering column out, maybe the dash. We're trying to get as much money back out of this old car. That way so we have less in that. $500 for a good run and drive train and fuel injection. Yep, we're keeping it fuel injected. Anyway, you heard the bell. I got to get going. Sorry this wasn't too much in detail. This is just a real quick, I needed a filler video, not gonna lie. Needed a filler video, but we got it out. I dropped it from the bottom. It might be safer to drop it from the top. I don't know. I know that that bolt stripped, so we ended up cutting that piece off. Those were twisting. So if you got a dilapidated vehicle, maybe you should pull it from the top, or just junk it like I'm going to junk this puppy. And then hopefully you can set her back on some jack stands without like flipping the car and all that good jazz and killing yourself. I think that was tools. We're going to say it was tools. Anyway, guys and gals, thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Whew, have a good turkey day. I think it's close on this episode here. So have a good turkey day. We'll see you next time here on Right Turn Garage TV. Y'all have a good one. I've got a mess to clean up. We'll see you next time.